Thank you, Lisa. Then I'm glad to call our next speaker, which is Mr. Gopal, Secretary of Urban Development from one of, or probably India's youngest state, Telangana, also one of the most vibrant states. So we are very keen to hear what's going on in your state, sir.
A very good morning to you, ladies and gentlemen, distinguished audience present here. Today, the delegation led by the Honorable Minister from the state of Telangana should have been here, along with a multidisciplinary team of secretaries to the government in charge of the industries, the IT. But due to the pressing political work, our Honorable Minister could not make it convenient, and therefore he conveys his best regards on behalf of the newest state of India, which is Telangana, to all of you who are present here. Just a brief background as to how Telangana state has been formed. Telangana state has 10 districts which are mostly backward, and the previous Andhra Pradesh government, of which Telangana was a part, was considered to be neglecting the backward areas, as it would happen in a backward state. Backward areas get neglected. In backward districts, backward villages get neglected. And therefore, in order to ensure that there is a real Telangana government in place, after about 41 years of general struggle and about 15 years of very serious struggle by the current Chief Minister of Telangana, which is Mr. K. Chandrasekhar Rao, on the June 2nd of 2014, the newest state, the 29th state of Telangana has been formed. And the physical, it is in the central of the country, heart of the country. We have, briefly to mention to you, we have a population of 35.1 million, and we have about 114,000 square kilometers of land, the gross state domestic product of $85 billion US, and the envisioned GSDP, gross state domestic product rate, is expected to grow by 15% during the 16-17. The new state has taken up a large number of programs. I would briefly mention, before I touch upon the global city and smart city aspect of Telangana state. I am trying to mention this because our state government believes that there are certain fundamental priorities which have to be addressed by the government, which were neglected in the past. And for instance, as yesterday one of the speakers from McKinsey has pointed out, you have a smart city or no smart city. Providing access to safe drinking water and sanitation facilities to the people at large is a fundamental duty of the state, which has been neglected so far, and more so in the state of Telangana. And also, secondly, if we take up what is required of the people, for instance, conserve water by restoring the ponds and lakes which were there, built about 300-400 years ago, there will be general buoyancy in the economy of the state, so that in future you should not be depending upon the project requires financing for each project, and instead depend upon the buoyancy that the state gets in order to repay the debt or service the investment that is going to be made in this country. We have a mission called the Kakatiya Mission, which envisages restoration and rejuvenation of about 45,000 ponds, which have a large potential to recharge the groundwater and also provide irrigation facilities. The mission Bhagirath, lack of access to safe drinking water and sanitation facilities, as you know, has a lot of burden of disease and a lot of health costs to the people at large. The Chief Minister of Telangana, after he took over, has promised the people of Telangana that before the current term is over, before he contests the next elections, each and every household in the state of Telangana will have access to a safe drinking water connection to each household. And he has now conceived and started implementing a water grid, which provides clean drinking water after treatment to each and every village at the entry point, to each and every urban local body at the entry point, and each and every household will get a water supply connection. And simultaneously, we are also working on some other project called the Swachh Bharat to provide individual sanitary latrines, so that if we address these two fundamental requirements, which enhances the dignity of the people at large, the basic requirements are taken care of. At the other extreme, we have something called the industrial self-certification system, where if somebody would like to put up a greenfield industry in the state of Telangana, land facilitation will be done. Like IKEA, one of the important Swedish companies, has procured land very recently in Hyderabad, and then they are working very fast on building it up. So without any hassles, our Chief Minister has the courage to say, like the Prime Minister also has the courage to say, that corruption-free environment would be prevailing. And if somebody applies for an industrial connection, license and permissions, within 15 days, the permission shall be given. And if it is not given for some reason, it will be deemed to have been given based on a self-certification, and you can go and start the building work of the industry. Now, our Chief Minister believes that Hyderabad has gone beyond the limits of being recognized as a smart city and get some incentive from Government of India on par with Hyderabad has a population of about 10 million. And you want to equate Hyderabad with a city which has a population of 300,000, 400,000, which is one of the smart cities which is coming up in Telangana. So it is not a level playing field for the scheme to be taken up. Also, the initiatives that are required to be taken up in a smart city have already been done in Hyderabad. Some of you, if you have already gone there, you can see the models of development in Cyberabad and other areas. And therefore, he would like to transform Hyderabad into a global city. And therefore, a large number of projects have been listed out. I will mention very shortly about these projects that we have in place. Well, depending upon the population of each state, urban population to total urban population in the country, we have a number of cities allocated. We have got today only 2 cities, and the Warangal city, of which I will briefly explain later, has participated in the challenge, which is likely to get selected in this round of challenge. Well, we listed out a large number of, this is a wish list, and the first priority of the government of Telangana is to ensure that in the place of small tenement houses which were having 300 square feet per family household, the government of Telangana would like to give, in order to ensure that there is a decent living to the family with dignity, there is a 2-bedroom house with a 2-bathroom facility with a plinth area of 530 square feet instead of the small holes of 300 or 250 SFT which were being provided, and which were also linked to the loans to be borrowed by the poor people, and there was no way that the loans could have been serviced by the poor people. Therefore, thinking that the essential requirement of a city fundamentally is to ensure that it becomes a slum-free city and provide housing to all those who are deserving at a 530 SFT with a cost that is about, it's about 7,000 to 8,000 Swedish kronas. In Indian rupees, it's about 5,30,000 rupees is going to be given gratis over a period of time. And we also already developed model colonies as we need to do in Smart Cities program. And there is a vast opportunity for investing on repayment basis on annuities using the Swedish technology. We will give the figures, and we will also give you the calculation that we make. We also give you the land availability, and if you can build houses to the people, the affordable houses, the government undertakes to repay by giving guarantee these loans with annuity installments without the need for transferring the liability to the people at large. We also have something called a transit-oriented growth corridor concept, and all around the city of Hyderabad, we have, I'll just go back once again later, we have an outer ring road of 158 kilometers. An outer ring road which ensures that any part of the city can be reached within about 35 to 45 minutes. And this outer ring road is already built, except 1.5 kilometers which is left over due to litigation. The JICA, the BOT annuity mode, the private investors, they've all come together, and different packages, different procurement methodologies have been implemented. Now we have the outer ring road. And all along the outer ring road, there are about 13 intersections where the roads cross each other. In these intersections, we would like to have transit-oriented development growth corridor concept. And you can see that we have identified based on the potential for development that these areas have in order to transform Hyderabad into a global city. On the northern side, if you say Shamirpet area, it will be suitable for, because there are a number of lakes there, a recreation city, amusement parks, theme parks. So the themes also have been identified development. The knowledge city in the other side, the IT soft tech city, Bedi city, the media city. So we have identified in such a way that in a 2 kilometers radius from this intersection on the outer ring road, where the connectivity is well established, we will be able to offer about 3,000 to 3,500 acres of land, within which we also have the properties owned by the government, which can be leveraged by the private investor, and the transit-oriented development to the extent of about 70% of this area in all these growth corridors, about 13 to 14, can be taken up, and we are willing to negotiate, discuss further with the investors, with the technology providers who are here in Sweden. We also have, of course, water supply being very, very important in Hyderabad city. We already have a number of drinking water projects completed and in place, but consequent to the catchment area disturbance and the drought situation, most of the traditional sources of drinking water, which were providing water by gravity, are drying up, and while we try to restore them, we also need to identify sources by pumping water to a distance of almost about 150 meters of head, to a distance of about 500 kilometers, we are implementing such projects. And therefore, in order to have a sustainable availability of source, a risk-free source, we are also planning to have reservoirs close to Hyderabad, so that when there is a problem of water security, we can also draw by gravity. We have similar typical city problems like stormwater drainage, the investments required. We have a river which cuts across Hyderabad city, and which is mostly polluted, as it would happen in most of the cities. If we have about 1,400 million liters a day, which is of sewage, which is getting into city's river, there's no clean water flowing. Only half of it is being treated. Primary treatment exists, secondary treatment exists. Of course, there's no tertiary treatment present, because once the water is treated and let out, it goes for agricultural purposes in the downstream villages. We have almost 50% of the sewage which goes untreated to the river. In addition, there is a prospect for development of the riverfront, as we see beautiful places in Stockholm itself and in other parts of the world. We would like to ensure that clean water flows into River Musi, and the required treatment plants are provided with appropriate technologies being used for tertiary treatment. Look at the possibility of retrofitting the existing city pipelines to ensure that there is recycle and reuse of water, so that there can be a value addition and part of the costs of treatment can be recovered. We also have developed a plan. We have a road development strategy. Studies have been commissioned. The traffic flows have been identified. The key areas where junction improvements, key areas where flyovers are required to be constructed, where other initiatives have to be taken, have also been identified. And one of them is the east-west corridor road. And what is important is identifying a project is one thing, ensuring that it is implemented is the most important other aspect. Yesterday, when we met the Secretary of the State in Sweden, I was trying to explain to him that what is required of the expertise of the Swedish industries and the experts is to tell us how do we go forward. Traditional modes of procuring works through EPC tenders or BOT are not going to be very relevant in current context. We need to look at flexibility in structuring, so that partly the servicing the responsibility is taken care by the collection of user charges, partly by the monetization of the lands which are available there, and partly through several other modes of escrowing the possible developmental charges from the real estate that comes about on account of improvement of this infrastructure. So we need to sit together and use your expertise to get doable projects structured, and that's where there is a beginning that's going to be there. And we invite, as I mentioned yesterday, we invite for further discussion. At this point of time, I would like to say that coming here and talking to you like this is one thing, but ensuring that we work together successfully. As Henry Ford said, coming together is beginning, staying together is progress, and working together is success. In my previous assignments, yesterday, the Blekinge Institute of Technology, I was Principal Secretary in charge of higher education, and also the Principal Secretary to the Governor. Now, we had a very wonderful agreement entered into with the Blekinge Institute of Technology 10 years back. And we stayed together, and now we are working together for 10 years. That twinning course, the course and the technology transfer, education development, skill development is going on very, very successfully as far as Hyderabad and Blekinge Institute of Technology is concerned. In the same breath, I would like to tell you that we also wanted to have, when I was heading an organization in charge of environment protection, we had some agreement with the Lund University, but then I don't know, I left that organization. Subsequently, I understand today that it's not working so very well. So what is required of us is to stay together. Well, we can work together later. So in the iteration process, we should understand each other, basically to ensure that the projects I identified are going to be successful. We have already some state-of-the-art infrastructure available in place. We have an international airport. Some of you who would have visited Hyderabad in the recent past after the airport has been commissioned would rate this as one of the best airports. And we have a metro rail. Let me tell you at this point of time, while I'll interact during the course of discussions about the other issues, the challenges, the concerns, that the metro rail is it is the largest PPP project in the world. It involves an investment of about 14,000 crores, which is about $2.5 billion, and which has been substantially completed. It's going to be commissioned soon. So therefore, before I conclude, I would only like to say that let us stay together, let us work together very successfully to convert Hyderabad into a global city. Thank you.